Welcome to Making More, the podcast where high-performing business owners and visionary executives share how they're building more than just bottom lines. I'm your host, Billy Fisher, an engineering leader turned business and executive coach, and I'm guided by a personal mission to help leaders create clarity, build forward momentum, and make more of what matters most. Today, I'm excited to speak with Andy Elsbury, president of Nexxt Spine, that's Next with two X's, and they're a really innovative medical device company specializing in spinal implants. Andy's leadership has shaped Nexxt Spine into a company known not only for precision manufacturing and FDA compliance, but also for strategic growth and exceptional team culture. Join us as Andy shares his insights on navigating complex regulations, scaling a business with clarity, and how leading with intention creates more impact for customers, employees, and the industry at whole. Andy, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. That's quite an introduction. You did great.
So it's good to have you here today. If you can, for the podcast listeners, just a brief introduction of yourself.
All right. So my background, engineer, MBA, serial entrepreneur, started several companies. About the last 25 years, it's been focused mostly on the spinal implant business. So what Nexxt Spine is doing, we work with surgeons to figure out what their needs are, come up with new innovative products, takes it all the way through engineering, marketing, research, engineering, all the FDA testings and clearances, and then we go to market with it. So we're one of the smaller companies in this space, but we try to be the most innovative company in the spinal market space.
The most innovative, and that'll be a central theme for today, innovating with those spinal implants. And then in my engineering background, I knew all about regulatory, but it was EPA, it was ISO. FDA is a whole different animal, so we'll get into what that means for Nexxt Spine. And then about how to scale strategically, because Nexxt Spine has gone through some growth on their campus, and they're not stopping there. So I want to get started with just a little bit about your leadership journey, Andy, and the origins of the company. So can you tell us how Nexxt Spine started and what your path was to leadership there?
Sure. So I was consulting long ago, aerospace, automotive, anything. And then part of it was medical. Started a company that we would design and manufacture for the big companies, the bigger OEMs. I ran that company for 9 years, sold it, and then started our own, where we're still doing the innovation of designing the implants, manufacturing the implants, but now we're the ones selling it directly. Big advantage there is before you always had the surgeon talking to the OEM, and then they're telling us what they want, and it's a back and forth telephone game. Now we're speaking with the surgeons directly, so we can narrow in more exactly what they need. Starting it, I was the only man, first employee, and you get the second, then you third, and you're doing it all. So when you're starting this company, you have to be the accountant, the janitor, the engineer, everything. As time evolved, you're hiring more and more people. In the beginning, it's people that can do multitasking in several functions. As the company has grown, it has evolved to now you're hiring specialists that are doing individual jobs. So you're going from a leadership of helping multitask to now developing people to understand their roles and responsibilities within the company. And it's a hard transition. Most companies have to go through it as you evolve and as you grow. Because of it, you have some turnover. You try to retain your best employees. And again, the leadership is important. The culture is important. You have to start with a culture of growth, speed, efficiency, innovation right in the beginning. And being an entrepreneurial, you try to create that environment. It's not bureaucratic like the bigger companies. It's more free reign for the engineers. How do we want to solve this? Figure it out. Business opportunities. Figure out how we can take advantage of these opportunities that the bigger companies can't take advantage of.
How do you think your background as an engineer has helped you get this from startup to now a flourishing company?
Tremendously. So my undergrad is mechanical engineering, and I still I designed most of the early implants and instruments. Now we have a whole team, but I've sit in all the design reviews still.
Yeah.
My master's was in operations management. Running this company, there's so many facets to the raw material, to the scheduling, to the manufacturing, the logistics, having sets available. That factors in. I got an MBA, and I've had to do the accounting, financial accounting, managerial accounting, a lot of the legal reviews, patent reviews, understanding the culture, how to create a culture, marketing, doing all the market research, SWOT analysis, all these things. So it all plays together. And when you're in an innovative company, it really helps if you're an engineer to understand what you're trying to develop. If you know how to get from A to Z, it sure helps.
Hmm. I could probably spend all day with you talking about like maybe your CAD and your PLM system because you told me in our last call that you've got over 14,000 individual unique parts. But we'll try and spare the audience those details today. And I'm just curious if you can help me walk through the process of designing and manufacturing a part like this because I knew forklifts. I knew what would go on a forklift. Your parts are going in actual human bodies that are required for surgery. So it's a whole different ball game. What is it like to design and manufacture that type of a specialized component?
It's rewarding. Yeah, I don't get into the operating room nearly as much as I used to, but it starts in the operating room. It starts with the surgeon can tell you, here is what I need. And then
Mm.
you have to watch them and they're close, but I got big hands and I need something I can hold on to, but then they use it like a pencil. So
Mm.
then you have to clarify what they're saying versus what they're actually doing. Then you make a prototype. The key for us is being able to make something quickly, put it in their hands. They tell us this week, next week we're coming back to them, put it in their hands. What do you think? And then they're giving you the feedback. You bring it back, and then you manufacture it there. Where we have an advantage over the competitors, we do all of our own manufacturing in-house. So when we can go quickly from idea generation, make the prototypes, make a product that can eventually get into the operating room. And it's exciting to be in there. We have marketing people that are in there. We have salespeople. We have engineers that are all in the operating room with them on new product developments or these ideas.
I was blessed as well to be engineering on the same campus that we manufactured the product at. And there's nothing like it to be able to go from idea to, in our case, maybe like 30, 60 days later, you've got a product on the floor. But in your case, it's probably a matter of hours. And I think that's just such an advantage to a business.
It is for us, and we're so vertically integrated that we can go from all the way through. And when we were doing this before as a contract manufacturer, you would come up with a print, they'd have to bless it, you'd make it. Now you're coming up with, here's our concept, let's machine it, try it, machine it, try it, machine it, try it, and you dial in on not a 2.44 millimeters, you try 2.44, 2.45, 2.46.
Mm.
Yep, 2.45 was better. So you can dial it in, lock it in, and being so vertically integrated, we can go from the machine to clean, to tumble, to clean, to blast, inspection, blasting, everything in hours. We don't carry, of those 14,000 part numbers, it's an 80-20 rule. We carry probably 20%, 80%. If they want it, we make it that day. So we can ship it out that day because that's so many different part numbers.
Very good. You mentioned how rewarding this type of work can be. So tell me a little bit about how your products improve patient outcomes. Spinal health is such a sensitive area. I can't think of a single part of the body that is more integral to everything else that you do. Um, Tell me about that, man. How do
Absolutely.
you?
Two answers to this one. New technology and better technology are your two answers. So new technology, what we're trying to do is fuse bone. There's going to be a nerve pinch, a spinal cord pinch somewhere. You're spacing it out, and then you're having that bone fuse in a protected state. So you want to get the bone growth. So we did a ton of research through Purdue and other universities on how to grow bone. So that was a key differentiator. how quickly that patient is out of pain and then injury-free is the key metrics there. So it's new technology. That's the first answer. And there was tons of work that we did in that area, tons of, millions of dollars in research. The second part is the smaller, you're leapfrogging in smaller steps, everything more intricate, more capabilities, and smaller. So it's screw inserter. We put in a lot of screws. A screw inserter might have been 4 components. Now it's 12 to 15. Everything's smaller and can go off axis through a smaller space, a smaller incision, but yet it still has to be strong enough. So it's new materials, new designs, and everything keeps getting smaller and smaller. So for the patient, imagine a 6 to 8 inch incision versus a 3 to 4 inch incision. The healing time is cut in half or less. So it's a constant improvement. And for the surgeons, speed, the longer somebody is under anesthesia, the higher the risks are. So make instruments that can speed up the surgery to get them from open to close quicker.
I think that's got to be such a big part of your business as well, is building those relationships with the spinal surgeons that are doing the hard work. And maybe the healthcare providers even too. How does that relationship look like, and how have you evolved that to be one of the top choices that they go to for their surgical needs?
Our surgeons are usually the highest demanding surgeons, that they want the latest and greatest. They're the ones that are pushing the envelope.
Hmm.
Again, back to the 80-20 rule, 80% are using the blue blood, what they learned in the residency, where our surgeons are, they're pushing that envelope. So then you do have a tighter relationship. It's hard to get a surgeon to switch. It's high risk, high reward. You really have to have something great. You have to have a pretty good relationship. I will get pictures of surgical outcomes, x-rays, look at this, look how well that performed. On the contrary, you get some of these, hey, we need to get it something better for this situation. So you hear the good and the bad, but it's 4 to 5 that I talk to, 4 to 5 surgeons a day. We have a whole team of marketing salespeople that are taught, that's their job every day.
Right.
But I still have a lot of them that will reach out directly.
Very good. So we'll switch gears a little bit. We can talk about not the surgery themselves, but the FDA compliance and the quality control that parts like this require. It seems rigorous. It seems like FDA compliance is going to take up so much time and effort. But can you just go over for our audience what that process looks like and some of the challenges with it?
Absolutely. So to simplify it, we use a IOVV, inputs, outputs, verification, validation. Very similar to other companies. You have to integrate that throughout. You have to have your design reviews throughout. Everything that you're doing has to be documented. Every R&D thing, because when we're trying to get our FDA clearance for these products, they can go back and pull data as far back as they want, and we'll use that data to prove the efficacy of the products. So you're factoring in the regulatory clearance process from the very beginning. With regard to the facility, it's like you said in the beginning, not only is the FDA auditing, you have your own ISO certification audits. Most countries that we go to, they're bringing their own auditing team in. Brazilian auditors were harder than the FDA auditors. So your facility has to be compliant. Your products have to be compliant. You have weekly meetings on these. And again, everything is documented, everything is retained, everything is scanned, and keep it on site, off site. It's a big factor for sure. And we have outside consultants that help us with the regulatory because of the specialty of the nature that we're doing. So we reach out to a good team of regulatory experts.
Very good. And you said that you really have to structure this into your entire operation as far as being all in sync and stepping to that same cadence of this is what's required for FDA compliance. So how have you done such a good job of doing that within your organization?
That goes all the way back to the beginning. So when I was consulting, a lot of what I did was quality improvement, quality manuals, quality systems. So when we started the contract manufacturing, it was we wrote our own quality manual, followed our own systems that was compliant. And again, that's what I did for for a job as a consultant. And then when we started Nexxt Spine, rolled it forward. You have to design that in from the very beginning. It'd be so hard to go backwards and try to become FDA compliant. So it was cooked in from the beginning. The quality system changes over time. Your roles and responsibilities change over time. So you have to adapt the quality system. And as you add more capabilities and more processes into the system, you have to factor it in. And it could be something as complicated as new manufacturing equipment, or something as simple as labeling, changing the labels. You need regulatory, you need to do all the testing. Any new materials, biocompatibility testing, we test that quarterly. So we document all this and retain it all.
Very good. For 14,000 SKUs. And your team is still just a little over 100 in total at Nexxt Spine? Is that about right?
Correct. And as you mentioned, we've just expanded. We finished all the flooring over the weekend. Monday, we started moving in. And it's because there's so many units, 14,000. We're growing rapidly now. So if you're growing 30% per year, that means you're bringing on these new customers are not familiar with their product. Their surgeons are not familiar with their product. So you don't need 30% more inventory. You need 60% more inventory because they're not sure what they're going to use. And the doctor's not going to try it unless it's there. So instead of having it being there just in time and back, it sits there. And they're not sure if they're going to use a cervical or a standalone cervical or a structure plate, a corpectomy, a posterior cervical system. So they're often ordering way more sets than what they're going to use. So growing 30%, you need at least 60% more inventory. So our expansion is into the more inventory, more sets, increasing logistics capabilities. And a lot of our customers, again, they're not the 80-20, they're the ones pushing the envelope. So we make a lot of surgeon-specific sets that's tailored just for their needs. So that increases logistics demand on every customer is a brand new customer. And it's not like you can just easily put 10 more of the exact same thing on the shelf. So that's where we've grown lately.
Very good. You probably don't mind if they overorder, to be honest, right? Like that's fine with you.
Well, if they used it, it'd be great. All right. Otherwise, these sets, 5,000 to 40,000. So if you're shipping 6 or 7 sets, it's like a razor. You don't want to send 10 razors and only sell one razor blade. You want them to use a lot of razor blades, but you have to make all these sets for them. So
what's the shelf life? What's the shelf life once they get them?
Shelf life is indefinite for the most part.
It's
obsolescence. It's redesigned a new system. So the implants are fine, the instruments are fine, and there's wear and tear, but a set could last 10, 20 years. But sooner than that, you're going to obsolete it with a new and improved product, new and improved instruments.
Very good. Very good. You mentioned growth, and part of that was the campus footprint grew a little bit, 30,000 square feet to now almost 55,000 square feet. Wow. What went into that?
So our manufacturing, well, I'll even back it up. When we started the company, I'm coming from a contract manufacturing. Great, our team was great at the engineering, our team was great at the manufacturing. But when you're getting into this market, we weren't talking to the surgeons directly. We weren't talking to the distributors. So everything was surgeon to surgeon referral and a nice growth. In COVID, these other companies put employees on furloughs and everything else. So we grabbed better marketing and sales guys. With this better marketing and sales, now our growth is really accelerated. So because of that, we could see the demand coming back in 23 and 24. Our goal was to double the manufacturing output. So you're adding equipment and you're adding a full 3 shifts, where we were 3 shifts, but full first and then skeleton second and third. We had to increase our manufacturing capability to support everything. Now, 2024 and 2025, we're trying to increase everything to support that growth. So our manufacturing equipment area is fine, but it's all the finishing and logistics and shipping in and out. Management, all the people, the communications, the customer service team, those are everywhere that we had to grow as well to catch up with now the increased demand and increased manufacturing. And that's the balance, as far as, well, as the president, CEO, you have to balance. Before it was how many new surgeons could you support with how many new products and manufacturing capacity.
Mm.
And those were three hard things to balance. Manufacturing capacity, how many good programmers, how many operators, how many machines. Now that balance is expanded all the way across the whole company. How many marketing people, how many customer service people, how many you have to maintain that relationship, invoicing, shipping. So now trying to balance the whole company so you don't have a weak spot. And now that's my challenge.
Mm-hmm. Titanium, is that typically what you all are mostly manufacturing in, or is it some composite?
So I told you we have a new technology that's helping the bone to fuse quicker.
Growth. Yes.
That's all 3D printing, which is all titanium. Before those were plastic implants.
Mm-hmm.
So we sell plenty of peak plastic implants as well, but it's the 3D printed titanium that has been our big growth factor.
Okay.
All the screws and plates and everything else is made out of titanium. The body likes titanium and accepts titanium.
Yes. Yes.
So
it's biologically friendly. I used to have a screw in my knee.
Exactly. And then it's going to be tight. It used to be stainless steel when we first started. Your body doesn't like it as well. And a lot of people are allergic to the nickel in stainless steel. So titanium was a natural. Instruments, stainless steels, plastics, aluminums, some titanium just to lighten up the instrument. But the majority of the instruments, stainless steel, and the implants, 95% are the titanium.
Talk about efficiency a little bit for me, because it feels like it's going to be really hard to be an efficient operation with that many unique part numbers. But I think you all have found a way to do it. So what's led to that?
That's a tough question. Most companies in our industry lose money, but they're trying to grow and grow so they can be acquired.
Mm-hmm.
We've been profitable from year one on, and you have to be efficient. You have to be smart. Having our own manufacturing helps us with a lot of that efficiency, because when you have that many different part numbers, if you're holding on to that many different parts, you're just buried in inventory. So being able to quickly and efficiently make a product within a day, a lot of these we can make it within 4 hours or less. We'll get an order by noon and we're shipping it out by 5 p.m. easily. So that the manufacturing efficiency is a big deal. But where a lot of these other companies, and we're starting to bump up against that, it's the efficiency of everybody on your team. You have your outside marketing people, your outside salespeople, they're in their own world. Trying to pull all that information in is extremely difficult. So to stay with the efficiency, it's a kind of a two-parter for us, and factor in the growth, people and processes. You have to have people understand what they're doing, their roles and responsibilities, and how they integrate. And you need new processes as you grow. What worked before, because one person was doing it, now you have three. You need to make sure you're not losing that inefficiency. So that process has to be locked in. And the other aspect is just new technology, adding in the AI, adding in a better software platform. It's been 3 years that we're replacing our MRP system. We have an SAP system. We're replacing it.
Well, if you say SAP, that's automatically 3 years. That's how that works.
It is, and it's extremely complicated. And when we're not dealing in part numbers, we're dealing in sets, which has part numbers in it. And every set is a little bit different. So you can't just manage, there's 100 parts in a set. You can't manage 100 parts. You can't manage a set because every set's different. So it's a hybrid that you have to create. So it's We've done a lot of customization to it, but it's been 3 years. September 1st is our go live date. So we're going through
Nice.
all the testing now and the training now. So September 1st, there's no hiccups.
Okay. Very good. Well, I wish
Yeah,
you luck with that the rest of the summer.
Yeah, you have to integrate in the new software, new AI, all these things to be efficient.
Do you think you've made it a part of your culture across all of those departments that it is about efficiency as much as anything?
Well, I'm going to read this off to you. Here's our culture.
Nice.
Our people, and then there's a lot to it. Make it better. Why are we here? We have to make it better. Work with collaboration. So teamwork is I pass you the ball, you pass him the ball, and you pass him the ball. Collaboration, we're doing it at the same time. When we do a design review, manufacturing doesn't look at the design, and then quality, and then marketing. Everybody's collaborating. We're sitting at that desk right now together. So a lot of collaboration. Take it personally. We're a company, it's entrepreneurial. It's not bureaucratic where you have somebody looking over your shoulder. If you need somebody to motivate you, you're not going to last. You've got to take it personally and get it done yourself. And the last one, acting with speed and urgency. Do it now. Get it done today. If you're making a new setup and your first shift and you're 8 hours into it and it's time to go home, stay the next hour and a half, 2 hours, get it done so second and third shift can run those parts. And that goes to every aspect of the company. So the company culture is a big deal. And again, you have to design that in from the beginning, just like that quality system. You better have that. It's hard to change. You need to set that expectation. And over time, it is harder because the people make a difference. And when you have 10 people, 20 people, 30, 40, 50, you know who they are, you know their kids' names.
Yeah.
They know you care. So then they care. You start getting to 100 people and you have 3 shifts and you don't see them every day. It's a challenge to make sure that they know, hey, we care. We want you to care about the end product and about the whole company. So it is a constant challenge and you have to work at it.
I didn't think I had picked up on the fact that you all are running 3 shifts, though. That's around the clock then. Okay.
It's around the clock and I wish we were in Central Time Zone, but even shipping and receiving, California has, they want theirs at 5
Yeah.
time. That's 8 o'clock our time, and then you have 30 minutes to get it to FedEx. So
Very good.
yeah, you have to, a lot of it's 2 shifts, but manufacturing's 3 shifts a day.
Very good. Now, you mentioned to me on our last call that you have a little bit of experience working with coaches and in a kind of a CEO group, but you mentioned some frustrations with what that was like for you. Maybe some people that weren't really pulling their weight as a part of that group. Can you tell our audience a little bit about what you've gone through there and some of your just own leadership growth?
Sure. I know where my strengths and weaknesses lie. So having a CEO group to kind of have a check and balance and to do a sanity check. I'm great within the 4 walls. I'm weak outside the 4 walls. I'm not up on current events. Having that group, they can hold you accountable, help you balance better, help you manage better. And you're only as good as those people around you. So I've been in some groups where, be it they're stale, you've exhausted all their ideas. And I've been in the group I'm in now, they challenge you better. Once a quarter, I'm presenting, here's my latest and greatest challenges. And I'm giving my solutions, which I think are obviously the best. And then when you run across them, have you tried this? Have you tried this? And wow, that's a good idea. So that group thinking, getting a peer group to reevaluate, because it's lonely when you're the CEO.
Yeah.
And it's spinal implants. I'm not comparing with other spinal implant industry. There's just nobody around that you can compare to. So having that group really does help. And gives you ideas and you learn from what their challenges are. Part of my job, I need to be looking ahead. Where's our opportunities, but also where are our pitfalls? Let's avoid it before we get there. sales are going up. It'd been easy to try to make 30% for 30% growth. I knew I learned we had to make 60% to support that 30% growth. We easily
Mm,
could have been behind the 8 ball if we didn't increase the manufacturing, double the manufacturing capabilities.
very good. That growth, is that something that you use as one of your biggest challenges when presenting to that group, or is it something else that's been the biggest challenge for you?
The growth, and it's true of any growing company. My logic of growth, and back to the culture, your best employees want challenges and opportunities and things they like. If you're a stagnant company that's not growing, there's very little challenges, very little opportunity. So to me, if you're not growing, you're dying, you're slowly decaying. So it's the growth, the innovation drives the new products drive all the challenges. And our sales guys are always coming up, can we do this? Can we do that? Let's put that through a little filter and see what is actually making good business sense that we can actually make, that we're going to be good at it. But those opportunities are, it's the growth that drives everything. Company culture, the checkbook, so to speak, it's the growth,
Sure.
which then goes back to that innovation. That's where I get excited. If you ask me what's my most exciting thing,
Yeah.
sure, I like to see the financials at the end of the week or the end of the month, but coming out with a brand new product or walking back there into the test lab and seeing it in action, going through the testing, that's really cool. It is cool. And when you go to the first surgeries and you work with the surgeons and they're all exciting, to me, that's what I'm passionate about.
Mm. No, I think that's such a unique thing to be able to actually see a surgeon put your products to use and change a life with it. I think that's got to be so rewarding.
And take a new engineer.
Oh
When a new
yeah,
engineer comes
take him
on
with you.
board,
Take him with you, right? Yeah.
they are going from school. Most of our engineers are coming out of Purdue. They're going from
Good.
Purdue in classes to within 3 to 6 months, and they're having something in that operating room. And for them to go see it and think, wow, I designed that. And it's very scary in there. It's high pressure. This is somebody's life on the line there. And
Yeah.
you're thinking, it's got to work. And it's good. We tested them, but still, I know in the first surgery I went in, I don't think I took a breath for 2 hours straight. I
Wow.
just that nervous, just, boy, I hope everything goes great.
Yeah. Hmm. Any advice, Andy, for other leaders out there that are experiencing similar challenges with growth in their companies?
I would say passion is the key. If you have passion for what you're doing and hire people that have passion for what they're doing, it makes the leadership much easier. And the motivation is already baked in. They're going to want to do a good job. They're going to take pride in what their work is. So as you're trying to grow, getting that team around you, to me, has been critical. And finding people that are so passionate about what they're doing.
Hmm.
And areas that I'm not super passionate in. Again, I'm passionate about the product development, passionate about getting a product from concept to out the door. Other guys are passionate about the marketing aspect, passionate about selling and new territories. Some guys are passionate about international sales. You need all kinds of people. What are they passionate about? Then give them all the freedom to go get it.
And that's such a huge piece of it because I think that's something that I've found to be incredibly powerful is finding out what is your passion, like what are you naturally good at, what gives you energy versus what takes your energy away and what kind of just brings you down. Because I think when you can put teams in places where you're working at what you're best at. Patrick Lencioni wrote a book last couple of years called The Working Genius, and I'm a big fan of it. It just breaks it down into these different areas of what your expertise is. You get two geniuses, you get two competencies, and you get two frustrations. And I think you can really bake everything down into those. And when you find what your true genius is, you can really make it make it a career like you have.
Absolutely. I go to the gym every single morning and then I come in here. and that's 6 to 7 days a week. The weekends, I'm not working very long, and I'm working on different things that I really like to do. And you're passionate about it. And everybody asks me, when are you going to retire? I don't foresee that for a long time. I love what I'm doing. I'm
Yeah.
very passionate about it, and it's fun for me. Not every day's easy. By no stretch is it easy. And there's some F-bombs that get dropped before lunch easily some days. But
Yep.
I do love what we do.
Oh, when the time comes that you're ready for succession planning, years and years down the road, you know where to find me.
Absolutely.
Final question, Andy.
Yep.
What does making more of what matters mean to you?
Great question. More innovation, more products.
More innovation.
More innovation. And again, to me, that's what sets the whole flywheel rolling forward. It's now you got a doctor excited about a new product. Our marketing guys are excited about it. The engineers, they would just do new products all day long.
Oh, yeah.
Creates all the opportunities. Now the sales guys have more to manufacture to sell. The manufacturing guys, it's boring making the same things over and over again. They want the new products. They want new innovation. They want to come into my office and show me, hey, look how we did this. So to me, it's the innovation that is the more. And to me, making more is more innovation, more products. Or
And you've got a new system in place to house all of them now, too.
yes. And it does help spreading everything out. Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy, thank you for your time. Greatly appreciate you joining us today. It's been a real pleasure.
It's mine. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Making More. If today's conversation sparked something in you, let's connect. You can find me on LinkedIn and Threads at Coach Fisher FPT, or by visiting billyfisher.focalpointcoaching.com to learn more about how I help leaders create clarity, build momentum, and make more of what matters. This recording is copyrighted by Engineered Consulting Incorporated. Until next time, take care.